The brave decision taken by MG.
Really like the presentation. First of all, I really like this feature. I really like how MG likes to have the center console cocoon you.
Electric estate wagon, everyone. This is a very rare occurrence. Hello everyone! In recent years, electric cars have become a very high demand in the EU market. However, there's two ways the automotive industry has gone about it. One way of going about it was to make luxurious electric cars that cost quite a lot, so therefore value for money is not a question. But then there's also another way they've gone about it. And the other way they've gone about it was to make hatchback electric cars, and that's mainly from the PSA group. I've noticed they've taken initiatives in electric hatchbacks, and same for Honda with the Honda E. However, those hatchbacks may be small and very city friendly, but they do come at a price as well. But there's one particular competitor that decided to do something groundbreaking, that decided to offer electric cars at a rather cheap price, but at the cost of identity. And this competitor is MG. That's right, you heard me guys. Now, it remains a little bit of a mystery what exactly is the long-term objectives of MG. But one recurring thing we can already establish is that MG has developed an obsession for electric crossover SUVs or hybrid crossover SUVs. But we can certainly establish that MG has taken strong environmental initiatives and offering cars that are good value for money in terms of equipment. Here is the MG5, everyone. Yes, that's right. Now this time MG has released an estate wagon. Here in the EU market, estate wagons have been rather hit or miss when it comes to presence, because now I feel like the demand has gone more towards crossover SUVs, but estate wagons are sold nonetheless. But I've noticed the majority of them are sold as company vehicles rather than private vehicles. But then, did this MG5 come out at the right place at the right time? You all be the judge, because I personally think yes and no. Because today, I feel like the D segment is going down, and estate wagon to come out at this time, I guess in my view, it can also be perceived as a brave decision taken by MG. This MG5 costs 36,000 euros. Is this good value for money or not? We're gonna find out in a moment, everyone. Let's get down with this review right now.
So this is the exterior design of the MG5, everyone. Looks absolutely stunning. And then there's now a reoccurring MG theme I'm starting to notice, and that is the front right here. MG has developed an obsession for this sort of front, at least from what I've seen in their recent models. Very interesting. And then it's interesting how you get this piano black trim right here, which is supposed to be, I believe, an imitation of a grille. But it's not an imitation. Like right here, this is piano black, like literally. So this is good, because most brands would have like fake grills and designs, whereas this is not pretentious, which is quite nice. I like that. Over here is your evidence that this is indeed electric. This over here is your plug-in, everyone. Look at this. Very nice. So over here is the side view, everyone. Looks very nice. Quite interesting. And this over here is your keyless entry. So this door has a keyless entry to it, which is quite nice. And I like how on top of the doors, you get this chrome design on top. It's quite interesting, like, well, what's actually going on. It's, I feel like that chrome is, okay. Like, I think it would be better if it was not there, but then again, everyone has their own judgment. First of all, one thing I can tell about the exterior design is that it's very promising, and I really like it, and it does look desirable. For a price of 35,000 euros, I would perceive this as good value for money. But whilst exploring the exterior, I also noticed some questionable aspects. And the first questionable aspect I'd like to remark is the overall picture of this MG5. It appears to be the identity. The first thing I'd like to point out is how those headlights kind of remind me of something Mazda usually does. And the entire front right here kind of for a second made me think of Volkswagen a bit. Kind of reminds me of the Volkswagen Scirocco. And then if you look at the side of this MG5, those wheels kind of remind me of Alfa Romeo. Funny. And then rear lights were also interesting. They kind of remind me of what Audi did before. And then overall rear view reminds me of, well, I would say something between Alfa Romeo, and then this side view reminds me a bit of Opel. Now, You see, so as you guys can see, there's a bit of a mishmash of identities, and I'm sure that MG did not do this deliberately. I'm sure of this. I'm sure MG just simply drew inspiration because they knew they are competing in the EU market, and so therefore they would try to do something to adapt to the EU market, and which they have. This looks very desirable for the EU market, but the other questionable aspect is identity. But then again, who really pays attention to identity when buying a car in this generation? Another questionable aspect I thought I'd remark is, it's a bit debatable if it's questionable or not, but here it goes, guys. At the front, you do not get parking sensors, but you do get a nice parking camera right there. That's positive, guys. You get a 360-degree parking camera. Now that is very good. But no parking sensors at the front. The parking sensors are at the rear. Another questionable aspect I thought I'd remark is how this is not an air intake at all and has no purpose whatsoever. It's just there for the design. It would have been more interesting if there was a lighting over here or perhaps an air vent or something. Now over to the interior of this MG5. Alright, so this is the interior of the MG5, everyone, and it looks very, very impressive. I really like the trim around here. First of all, the theme is very good. I like how you get this blue line that goes around the interior and accompanied by piano black. It's very, very good. I really like this theme. It looks very, very nice, and it's actually cute in my opinion. So I have to say that I really like the presentation. First of all, I really like this feature. I really like how MG likes to have the center console cocoon you. So this level is always above, and all you can do is just relax your arm here. So this, you have the armrest right here, the cup holders, and the gear controls. Very nice. And this it's very good. I really like the presentation design, and this trim looks very good. Now, it's not aluminum, but it looks like an imitation of aluminum. It's very interesting. I like it nonetheless. This is your infotainment system, and I believe your climate controls are brief right here, but there's more details as you activate the infotainment system. This whole area right here faces the driver, so it's kind of a similar practice which European competitors have been employing. Famously, BMW, they started this, and then Volkswagen as well has employed a similar thing, and then now even the PSA group employed this in the mid-2010s. So it's a very interesting feature. Over here is your gear control, and then you do get your driving modes right here, and you get your start-stop button right there. Very good. And you get some additional storage right underneath these controls, guys. And over here you get your 12-volt socket, USB points. Very nice. Over here is your central console storage, everyone. The central console storage is as good as it has to be for a estate wagon that's of this segment. And then over here is your glove box. Now, the glove box is quite big. I'm impressed. Guys, believe it or not, you get electric seating adjustments, and you do get leather seats. I forgot to mention this earlier, guys. This is very, very nice. Well, actually, it's I'd say semi-leather, because this is you get the leather, but then you also do get some fabric, some tissue. But it's actually quite good. 3 different trims right here. You get this imitation of aluminum, you get this piano black and blue, and then you get this fabric. Huh. That's very interesting, guys. I mean, over here is your MG steering wheel. Quite nice. A bit of a conflicting theme, guys, because you see this steering wheel is good, but it's rather sporty. It's like something you expect from a car with a sport package or something. But this MG from the outside looks like it has a normal package to it. So why give a steering wheel that's rather sporty? Oh, well, it doesn't matter, guys. What matters is it's really good. Over here, you get your hood latch. And then over here, you get your door bin. Now, door bin, I don't believe it's that big enough to hold a big water bottle, but then it's as good as it has to be. Over here is your door handle, which can also double as a door storage. And then also, you get your window controls and your mirror controls right here. No, everyone, despite good value for money so far, I don't see any sunroof. Exploring the interior of this MG5, I have to say I was very impressed with the presentation, first of all. But then the first questionable aspect I'd like to remark is identity is hit or miss. That's something you guys can judge, because when I saw this area, first thing that came in my mind was either BMW or Peugeot or Citroen, but then it's it's difficult to say, everyone, guys. I mean, it looks as though this time the interior looks a little bit original. It doesn't look like something they borrowed from other competitors, which is good. This time it's good. But the questionable aspect I'd like to remark is rather the priorities given to some areas. Like, for example, when it comes to the trim in this interior, it looks as though MG has given so much priority for the trimming, but less priority to detailing. Like, for example, the steering wheel is all black and chrome, but instead of putting this much trim there, why didn't MG think of maybe adding some trim here, like making either aluminum or perhaps this quality, but on the steering wheel, you know, make the steering wheel more lively, or perhaps adding some more details here, because despite all the shininess going on here, I see nothing going on here, guys. It's just hard plastic, and the window controls just look like on the basic side. Another questionable aspect I'd like to remark is that I'm gentle with the door, okay? But here's what happens when I'm very gentle. Like, look at this. I close it as gently as I can, and there's always some vibration happening right here, guys. Like, listen to this carefully. Do you hear that noise? Every time I close the door, guys. It's coming from this direction. That's what I know. It looks like it's either from the A pillar or it's from here somewhere. But whatever this noise is, it's a bit. It's every time I close this door, even as gently as I possibly can, it's still there. Like, here is the rear seat, everyone. Very nice. Leg room is good. Knee room is good. And my headroom is also good, guys. As good as it needs to be. But point out how comfortable the seat is, actually. Like, in the rear, everything seems better. And then also, you don't get any climate control or anything right here, but you do get some extra storage right there. And for some reason, you get an imitation of what looks like carbon fiber, but it's just straight lines over there. Huh. A lot of randomness happening. And then I see some USB points underneath down there. Pockets for the rear seats, everyone. And you get a nice handle, beacon of hope lighting, and a coat hook right here. Wow. I like this piano black trim right here. Door bin is as good as it has to be. Not even going to complain about it. No leather or anything on the door. It's just hard plastic, but you get this nice fabric material. And as you close the door sound is actually quite solid. I mean, there's a big difference between this door and the front door. Here, listen. It's so solid. And you do get a foldable armrest right here, guys. How amazing is that? Here is the boot space of your MG5, everyone. Looks very, very good. But upon opening this boot space, I noticed something extremely odd. And the first thing I'd like to point out is, first of all, well, you do get a beacon of hope lighting right here, guys. But for an estate wagon, there doesn't appear to be much practicality solutions, like compared to most competitors. Most competitors would at least offer a coat hook or some storage solution. But over here, you just get a boot space that's good. I mean, you can fit in a lot of things inside. It's average for a segment of its own, but then when you want to close the rear door, you just have to pull it from here. Although this is also a bit questionable, because for a price of 35,000 euros, and so far this car has been good value for money, why didn't MG provide an electric rear door? Oh well, again, not so questionable. Perhaps it's debatable. Let's just put it this way. Here's my conclusion about the MG5, everyone. I have to say that it is a very, very mixed picture right here. But let's talk about the big picture. The big picture is that this is the birth of something new for the automotive industry. This is one of the first times we see an electric estate wagon, everyone. This is a very rare occurrence. Because here in the EU market, we're not used to receiving such nice treats, especially at a generous price. 70s and the 1980s. Those were the real MGs, guys. The MG convertibles. Now, I'm not saying that MG of today should create a convertible. They have to stick to the cars they've come up with. But they have to also implement some design from ancient models. But they never do this. They keep looking at cars of today, and especially from competitor companies. So for a price of 36,000 euros, is this MG5 good value for money or not? You know what, guys? I have to say this MG5 is good value for money. Now, many of you are going to think to yourselves, in terms of equipment, this should be very good value for money. This should be near perfect value for money.
Yes, you are all correct. This is an estate wagon that's near perfect, and that's actually good. That's actually great value for money in terms of equipment and the fact that it's an electric estate wagon. But there's one aspect that I couldn't help but question constantly, guys. The identity issues and also the quality, like something about the A pillar of that door really, it vibrates constantly. It makes this noise constantly, and that is something, I've never seen very often in car manufacturers of today's generation. And then also another thing I'd like to point out is the mixture of priorities. There's just different priorities given in the interior. Like the door looked completely neglected. The door looked very basic. But then as soon as you look at the center area or the trim at the center right in front of the passenger, it's so glitter, it's so shiny, it's so gorgeous. It's like as if it's from a premium car. And this is something I've noticed, this is a reoccurring thing I've noticed with MG models I've reviewed before. Other MG models have had something similar, that is mixed themes that conflict with each other. And then also, one moment you're looking at a steering wheel that's super sporty, but then when you look around the interior doesn't imply anything sporty. So there's a bit of conflicting themes, and it's a bit of a mishmash of different things going on. It's always nice to have one theme and stick to that one theme only. Don't mix themes up, because when you mix themes up, you give the car a conflicting identity, a conflicting theme. And this is like, yeah, just something minor I thought I'd point out. You want my opinion of this MG5? Oh, I love it! I love this MG5. I really, really do, because this is the birth of something very different, and this is a model that's going to provoke a big competition in the automotive industry. Other car manufacturers will now be forced to come up with estate wagons, which is very important. Estate wagons which are electric. My apologies. I jumped too fast to certain words. But what I want to say is that we need a variety of choices of electric cars that we can purchase at a budget price. Because for a price of 35,000 euros, it's not very often you see a brake or an estate wagon. That's at the maximum I've seen a B-segment car cost that much. And this is questionable in my opinion. But right here, this competitor has done something very groundbreaking and very different. But at the cost of something major. Identity and style and mixed themes. Again, guys, and a bit of quality. Like, I have a feeling the quality is... You be the judge. But then the noise from the A-pillar is something that... Again, you be the judge. But just thought I'd point it out. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And stay tuned for more videos that are on the run. And don't forget to check the links in the description for more of my videos and car reviews of other MG models or models that could be relevant to this wonderful MG5 estate wagon.